And welcome back to In the Can, the very last day of the Sundance Film Festival. There is still stuff going on, and we'll talk about that in just a little while. We had the big award ceremony last night, but we do have filmmakers still in town. Drew Christie is with us. His animated short Song of the Spindle premiered here at Sundance, and it was part of the shorts package?
No, it actually...
Or did it premiere by itself, or was it a kind of a precursor to another film?
It played, each time it played before the documentary Chasing Ice, which was fantastic. Mm-hmm. And so it played 6 times in total. And so I've been busy every day.
Well, that's great. I mean, that gives you the opportunity, because I know that the shorts filmmakers are also part of that, you know, getting on stage and thanking people and maybe even part of a Q&A. Did you do any kind of Q&A? Or?
I did, yeah. I would introduce the movie and, you know, talk about stuff. And then after the Chasing Ice's Q&A, I would, like, talk to people, too. And, and I got tons of really great, you know, feedback and comments and stories and all sorts of stuff.
That's
it was
fantastic.
Awesome.
Yeah, the shorts, of course, play in their own programs, but when it's able to play before a feature, obviously you get a little more personal attention.
Yeah, exactly, and and I think that I was really lucky with that because, like, the Chasing Ice was like everyone was very involved in the Q&As. You know, it's like about global warming, and everyone was really interested and intense, and so all sorts of people were like really wanting to talk to me. So I was really grateful for that.
Well, let's talk about Song of the Spindle then. Was it related to that film? Is that why it was paired?
It wasn't. It wasn't necessarily related to it. Song of the Spindle is essentially about a whale, a sperm whale, and a human kind of having this argument about who's smarter.
Oh, sure. And so it was a documentary then, really?
Yeah, kind of. Yeah, because well, in a way, it kind of is, because it's kind of like nonfiction, because the whale is kind of like ends up kind of telling the human about some, you know, scientific information about the differences and similarities between the cetacean and the human brains. Mm-hmm. And so it was and it kind of had a positive message. So I think that's they paired well.
I was going to say, I could see how they could pair well, because the whale represents a very kind of environmental take.
Yeah, I think
a little bit too, and puts a character and a face to something that a lot of people may just objectify.
Totally. I think that's why I got a really good response with it, is that people, like, I was kind of like breaking it down into like an easily like palatable, humorous situation that is actually kind of like a difficult, you know, thing to evaluate.
Mm-hmm. So talk about making the film. I mean, you're an artist, obviously.
Yeah.
And what gave you the idea of actually putting your art into motion?
Well, I've been drawing my whole life, and when I was like 5 or so, my dad let me use the family camcorder, the big camera. And then I started like making movies with the camera that also involved like my little drawings or my little Star Wars action figures or something. Mm-hmm. So that kind of got me into animation. And then I've been doing it, you know, for quite a long time. And whenever I hear something like on the radio or get some like germ of an idea, I kind of like try and write it down or think about it. And I heard on the radio maybe like a year or 2 ago that they just discovered that whales had these neurons called spindle neurons that they only know that humans and great apes and I think pachyderms have, and it's this neuron in your brain that is responsible for like compassion and understanding, and sometimes people call it the neuron that makes us human. Mm-hmm. And they just discovered them in some whales, and I thought that was really fascinating because, I mean, for all sorts of reasons, but it made me realize, like, oh man, everyone knew whales are smart, but it's like we're actually really have this thing in our brain that only we have. And also, that's also the neuron that they say is responsible for appreciation of music and things like that. And so whales make music and humans make music, and I thought this could be a really interesting thing to do, and why not have a whale and a human talking about it, because that really can't be done. So be perfect realm for animation.
All right, well, let's take a quick look at it. It is a short, but we do have a minute or so of it, so let's take a look at Song of the Spindle. What a sonorous voice that whale has. Gee, I wonder where that came from.
Yeah, I wanted to find someone with a deep voice, but I couldn't.
And who could be directed.
Exactly, exactly. Who could take direction from me. And so I only knew of one person, but since I don't have an incredibly deep whale-like voice, I just modified it using some computer technology. And then I would have liked to have had someone with a deep voice doing the whale, but I didn't know if anyone.
Well, when you make it into a feature, which I'm sure, most
When-
shorts
yeah.
guys like to do that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, Pixar, I'll find somebody.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, there you go. So, as part of the shorts program, I know that a lot of these shorts stream online with Sundance.org. Yours is not, but there is still a place people can go see your short right away.
Yeah, they can go to theatlantic.com, and in the video sections, you can watch it, and there's a brief interview there with me at theatlantic.com.
All right, Drew, thanks for joining us.
Yeah, and it's been
Good
awesome.
luck to you. Drew Christie has a short Song of the Spindle here, and it premiered here at Sundance, and you can see it online. Make sure you check that out. We'll be back with more in the can and more winners from the awards last night. Stay tuned.